we are live. Good morning, everybody. Daniel Allison, the average dude. Had a few technical difficulties there in the beginning. Did you see me fumble the ball, Fred?
That's okay because you picked it up and you kept running.
Let's go.
Now, what I have noticed in this new intro this week is that we have a Bobcat skid steer going down the road, but it looks like you and your hair is the only thing visible in that machine. I'm trying to figure that out.
Hey, I told AI, I said, Freddie's driving the Bobcat and I'm in the bucket. Okay. The AI made that video. That's what I wanted. And it made Freddie driving the Bobcat, and he's like he's driving a little car. If you look close, he's gonna.
Yeah, I'm down there. I'm about this big.
And then they made me look like some kind of like cool dude with the hair and like my hair's blowing. Hey man, AI, it's Grok, bro.
You're the star of the show. What can I say?
No, I did not want that. I wanted Russ Hammond to be the star of the show. Russ Hammond, we will see you tonight. Upstate Energy. 5 o'clock, 5:55. We're going live at 5:55. Upstate Energy tonight, Fred.
It's gonna be a big deal.
A big deal. Huge deal. And we've got another person that will be there tonight. EJ, good morning. It's gonna be a good day. And tell me about the basketball this morning. Did you hoop it up?
I did hoop it up, man. We had a nice crowd, 14 people.
Ooh, good number.
Getting a good run. It was fun, competitive and fun.
Competitive and fun. Now, let me ask you this. Was that a last-second decision for you to play ball and not do the workout today?
No.
The F3 workout?
No.
You knew you were going to do that?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I noticed you kind of arranged things where I would end up going to the F3 workout, and then this morning you're like, oh, yeah, by the way, I'm not going.
Well, yeah, I put that on a text thread just to make sure that you and Stan knew that I was up and I was still working out. I just wasn't going to go down there with y'all goons today and watch y'all stand around and talk. I was really trying to go somewhere and get a workout.
Ooh. We had to pass the baton workout today. In other words, we had take turns leading the group. Oh. So it started out with Will, and then he passes it to somebody. And you know how that is. You don't know when you're going to get the ball.
Yeah.
And you don't know what exactly you're going to want to do with it. And so we managed and got through it. But and it's always a hard workout. Have you ever noticed that when we have take turns leading the workout, when it's like that, whoever gets it next is like, all right, let's go. Because it's that anxiety, kind of the energy, which is what we're going to talk about later, the energy of the moment.
Yeah, well, you don't want to be the weakest link of the workout either.
No. And I tell you, man, it's a leadership training 101.
It is. That's why we try to invite people to show up. It's not just a workout.
No.
Relationships, leadership. It's all rolled into it.
Yeah, even after the workout, the way that we've been doing, and we're not sponsored by F3, folks. We don't make any money off this, but we both know and have experienced it. After the workout, you have the circle of trust, and just that is leadership in its essence, I would say, right? It's talking to the group, it's leading the group. And it's still an area of improvement for me. And, but it's great practice. So you get a little workout, you get some leadership training. I learned some things this morning, like you'd go to a Toastmasters or personal development thing, right? Watching myself and watching others. So good deal. Fred, you love this. You really do.
Quote of the day.
Quote of the day.
Get your mind right.
It's that tongue there thing now. That's not bad. We're going to work on that one. Haven't had time to work on it, but we're going to. The quote of the day. Here it is. What are you laughing at, Fred?
Oh boy. Get your mind right.
Get your mind right.
You gain strength, courage, confidence by every experience in which you really stop to look at fear in the face. I'm going to read that one again because it's awfully small with the screen like this. You gain strength, courage, and confidence. Every experience in which you really stop to look fear in the face. What do you think? Anything on that one? It's a little different.
You gain strength, courage, and confidence by every experience in which you really stop to look fear in the face.
Look fear in the face.
Well,
I'll tell you a story.
Yeah, I want to hear it.
There was I heard a story about a professional boxer. We're all scared of different things, aren't we? We're all scared of different things.
Snakes.
I'm not, well, yeah, I am scared of snakes. I almost said I wasn't, but yeah. I'm not like deathly fear. You know, some people see a snake and they just like freak out completely. But that's kind of my point. You know, there was a story that I heard from someone that a professional boxer, this guy was loaded and he had a landscaper come in and working at his house. And it came time, the landscaper didn't do something right at his house and with the landscaping, but he was afraid to make the call to tell the landscaper that he didn't do good work. And so he gave the phone to the assistant to make the call. And the assistant was telling the story and he said, Here I was, you know, I was making a call. This guy, what is he afraid of? Why would he be afraid to tell the landscaper? He's not afraid of anyone in the ring, but we're all scared of something. And it kind of goes back to what we talk about, calling it like it is. And
yeah, well, certain situations freak people out.
Different situations freak people out. And thinking about this morning with the leadership thing. Now, this morning they called on me and it put me in an uncomfortable situation. It made me nervous, you know, because I wasn't sure what to do. And they were like, well, you can't do that. The grass is wet. And that's different. But me and you tonight.
Whoa. Somebody in the workout group said, we can't do that. The grass is wet.
Who do you think that was?
I know who it was.
Yeah, but and then I got up there and then somebody else said, man, it is kind of wet up here today. And you know what I did?
You took a sip of coffee and you did it anyway.
I looked fear in the face. I looked at that group of men and I said, men, we're moving on. We're moving on. And I took it to the Bears Den. But my point, we kind of digressed. My point and the point of that quote, anytime we have, you know, it's kind of like your parents come in and after you look under the bed and you look in the closet for the monsters under your bed, remember, you weren't scared anymore. There was nothing there. And so when we have fear about something that's coming up, oftentimes it's in our head. And if we look at it, and we do it anyway, right? We get nervous over the last 10 years. There's been so many things. I've been scared to death to do it. I've wanted to back out of it. No, we're doing it.
Well,
and that's
the only way to build courage and confidence.
Yes. And call it out. Man, yeah. I'm scared. What are we afraid of? What's going to happen? I think that was what the point was that I really thought about with this quote, right? When we look at fear in the face, we're called to look under the bed and to say, hey, what is it exactly that we're scared of under here? And maybe it's something that's real, and maybe it's just something in our head. But either way, looking at it, doing it anyway, we're going to grow every time we do that.
Yeah, well, just think about tonight. If we are standing in front of a group of people and one of us fumbles over our words,
we will.
Oh, I'm embarrassed. Okay, everybody does it.
That's right.
You're standing in front of a group of people.
And I want to talk about that. So I've got 3 tips. Anytime we've got a big event coming up, this came from, and me and Fred will comment on these. 3 things that you should do before an interview, before a big sales event, before whatever you got, a speech. Number 1, practice and visualize. Practice.
I thought for sure number one was eat onions.
Eat onions. Your breath will stink.
Good point. Good point.
Yeah. And not at a networking event, but practice and visualization. And I think that's a big deal. Visualize the scene. Think about the place that you're going to be speaking. Oftentimes I will visit that space. I will look at the corners. So that's one of the things I do. When I walk into a space, the first thing that I do is look at the corner, because a lot of times we'll keep our view small. But in my experience, you want to go through that room and find things, visualize what it's going to feel like, maybe pick out a few things that, tonight when we're down here at the clubhouse at 5:55, I've already seen us in that little box and things that I'm going to be seeing yet, and people out in the crowd and what I'm going to be feeling,
Now, you have spoken to big crowds before.
Bigger.
Do you get comfortable? Sometimes if you lock eyes with somebody, it'll kind of throw you off a little bit. Do you feel better just looking out, maybe to a corner, not really locking in with somebody?
There is through the years, the growth is how you're able to do that.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm still in that space where at first you're not really looking. It just looks like you're looking at something, it just looks. And now they will tell you to do that in the beginning, and that's helpful. But one of the things that helped me the most, that now that we're just kind of spitballing here, I went to a Toastmasters one time and gave a speech. It was in a new club, and I told them that I had a visualization of that speech the night before. And I told him it was the greatest speech that I ever gave in the visualization. I said, and in that speech, I was making eye contact, and then I would proceed to make eye contact.
Yeah.
And I was speaking big. That speech, Fred, that moved the needle farther for me than any other speech, because I did what I had seen in my head, and I kind of gave myself a pathway to do it.
Yeah.
So
you saw it in the mind before you did it with the body.
That's it. Just like, how about you when you're coaching your boys in ball, or when you're playing basketball in sports? Do you think visualization is important in that?
Oh yeah, big deal.
Big
you
deal.
Gotta see it. I mean, at the end of the day, that's what separates teams and players, is that they can recognize what's happening, they can visualize it, and then play through it, adjust. That's
right. And maybe it's not necessarily, I was reading here about visualization. It says, oh, picture it going perfectly. I like to say, like you said earlier, we're going to stumble over our words. We're going to get embarrassed. We're not going to know what, and how are we going to handle that? How are we going to handle that? And that takes me to the number 2,
next
breathing and grounding techniques. Breathing and grounding techniques. So breathing is a huge deal. I call it smelling the room. It's smelling the room, but basically taking a big breath in through my nose, without it looking. Yeah. Exactly like that. And then when but seriously, that's something that I've started doing, and I read about why breathing in through the nose, and it's kind of like, it gets you out of your head, it gets you completely in the moment. And also that breathing just kind of slows you down.
Yeah. I like to take a deep breath, pause a little bit. It's okay for there to be 3 to 5 seconds sometimes. It just builds up anticipation for the next word. Everybody's on the edge of their seats. What is he about to say next?
I know. And you made an excellent point, and it's so hard. I've got to slow down more. Number 3, as we're getting close to time here, reframe nerves as excitement. Reframe the nerves as excitement. We're excited about tonight, and we're nervous. Feels the same. You're riding a roller coaster. I'm excited. I'm also scared to death, right? But we do it anyway because it's fun. It's fun. And it's growth when we're doing things like this. Fred, we're going to be live at 5:55 tonight. I am excited about that. Final thoughts as we go into this Thursday.
Final thoughts. Are you going to put a link to this bad boy somewhere where people
I should have a link. I'm going to create a live event. We're going to have a link. You will be able to see this link and watch us live tonight, starting at 5:55 sharp. It's going to be good. So I will have that link out later.
Perfect. Show up and help us.
Show up and help us. The clubhouse, downtown Spartanburg, 5 o'clock to 7:30. We're going live at 5:55. Call me if you have any questions. Hey, Fred.
Hey, courage and confidence.
Courage and confidence. Look at fear in the face today. Let's roll. See ya.